Yeah, boy. What's going on, people? What is going on, man? Coming through with the post game show with the heavy hitters live. Jew, could you do us the honors?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. As the Atlanta Falcons move up to 6-3, as they have defeated them cowgirls. Appreciate y'all coming in, man. Let me see, get everybody's takes on this game. Jew, what was your thoughts on this game, and how did you feel?
Yeah, this game went a lot like I thought it would go. But before I give my take, I just seen like in the chat where maybe saying Grady gone for the year. Is he out for the year with that Achilles? I heard they were saying it was precautionary.
No, no, it was
No,
precaution. It
just
was precaution.
precautionary. That was one of them one of them old man injuries. When you sneeze and your Achilles hurt. Yeah, that was just one of those.
Oh, okay, so the false alarm. Okay, good. But this game went similar to what I thought it would, how it would go. To be honest, Dallas came into this game nicked up. Yeah, they were going to fight hard and do their best to stay in the game, but I've said this over and over again. This Atlanta Falcons offense is looking very similar to 2016. When we play, hitting at all cylinders, unless your team can put up points, it's going to be hard to stop our offense. So this game, I really felt like Dallas was not going to be able to match us once we got going. As far as the offensive side of things, um,
Hmm.
as far as the defense, I'm still seeing the same issues. Like out of our defense, I'm not impressed with the defense. Yes, the defense did enough to win this game. Yes, it looks like we found a style, like I talked about in 2016, where it was play great offense, get turnovers on defense, and play bend but don't break defense. Bend but don't break type defense, and that's what I'm seeing. I'm still seeing us lining too far off the ball. I did see them make a couple of adjustments where we blitzed occasionally. I did like what I saw out of Caden Ellis. He was all over the quarterback as far as pressures and things of that nature. He had a sack in this game. Grady had a sack in this game. AK had a sack in this game. But they did what they needed to do. We took care of business at home. Am I jumping for joy for this win? No. I'm happy that these guys got the job done, but I want to continue to see improvement. So 3 sacks in this game, that's an improvement. So as long as we're getting 1% better week in and week out, you got to take the win. But I am happy to see that we're 6-3. We're kind of pulling away from the division, as you guys said. That the Saints lost today to the Panthers, so that's good news. But I figured that that's how this game would go. We would put up once we got like a touchdown or a 2 touchdown lead. It was not going to be any way that Dallas was going to be able to come back in this game because they're CeeDee Lamb or bust. There's nobody on that offense that scares me. Nobody in the backfield that scares me for Dallas. Nobody outside of CeeDee Lamb catching the ball that scares me. So at the end of the day, we handled business.
Hey, Mike, what you got for me? What you got for this game? What kind of numbers are we looking at?
Okay, so we're gonna look at the numbers for the Atlanta Falcons, and before I go through all of it, I want to say that I'm seeing something really interesting from Cool Kirk Cousins. Uh, and I don't mean the KKK. I mean Cool with a C, Kirk Cousins. Okay, just to get that straight. I don't want no. I don't want no weird things saying Mike talking about KKK. I'm talking about Cool Kirk Cousins, not with a K. All right. So looking at his numbers, one thing that stood out to me that is interesting, and Jude, what was one of the main issues last year on the Arthur Smith? Was our offensively what was one of our struggles?
Should I go down the list? It's a line of things that we struggle with.
It's a line
But
of them.
but I'll say this: the main thing that I noticed the difference with Kirk Cousins. I don't know where this. If this is where you're going, Mike, but I'll say our red zone offense and Kirk Cousins' ability to know where to go with the football in the passing game. That's the biggest difference that I see with this offense.
You're absolutely right, and that's exactly where I'm going. So I think this is like the fifth game in a row where this guy's had 2 touchdowns or more, and these guys are scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So these are the things when we talk about that wins championship. You can't win games if you're not scoring touchdowns. So I think one is Kirk Cousins, but two, I'm seeing the growth of Zach Robinson as a play caller. This is exactly the way I saw this game today. Bijan Robinson did exactly what this we should pound the ball, use Bijan Robinson early in the game, and then when things get interesting, that's when you kind of mix these guys up and use Tyler Algier. I thought he did a wonderful job of utilizing both running backs, getting touchdowns. Unfortunately, on that the touchdown to Drake London, he came down hard on his hip. I think he'll be fine. One of the things will rest as far as for a wide receiver. Those are the things. So the Falcons are actually this game did more harm. This game against the Cowgirls, it did more good than it did harm because now the Falcons, and I don't want this to go sound wrong, but we can afford to lose a game now. Why? Is because we can rest Grady, we can rest Drake if we want to, we can rest a guy because this pretty much solidified a playoff spot for the Atlanta Falcons. All right. Don't want to get in the habit of losing games, but now we can sit down and we can rest veterans. So this game right there was a huge win for the Atlanta Falcons for them moving forward. But the numbers, all right, the numbers 19 with 24. Thank you, ESPN, for the stupid. I really hate ESPN, a stupid app. Hey, I'm in the middle of looking at it, and this I want to show a highlight. I don't want to see a highlight ESPN app. Okay, so he's 19. He's 19 and 24. And the thing is too that I'm looking at this from Kirk Cousins, he's not throwing 300 yards. The team is incredibly balanced. 19 and 24, 222 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sacked a couple of times. They ran the ball for 100 yards. Darnell Mooney is proving that he can very well lead a receiving core even without Drake London out with a hip injury. Bijan Robinson was just an absolute. He was just amazing that day. So Bijan did his thing. 7 catches for 59. Ray McLeod with his clumsy, but he had a touchdown, 3 for 28. Pitt didn't necessarily get 2, and I think he had like 1 target the whole game. So Dallas was not going to let Kyle Pitts beat. And I think that's the thing with this Atlanta Falcons team is that if a defense decides that they want to take one of those guys out, we got guys that can step up. So that right there, offensively for the Atlanta Falcons. If you want me to get into the defensive numbers, K-Style, let me know.
Go ahead, man.
So defensively for the Atlanta Falcons, Caden Ellis, I thought they used him beautifully today. He had 13 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for losses, 3 quarterback hits. Nate Lamon, 10 tackles. AJ Terrell. With this defense, it's going to be high seeing all cornerbacks with tackles. But I think that's something that you even mentioned. But the corners with 9 tackles, D. Alford had 8 tackles, and then you have Jesse Bates with 6. But a sack for Caden, a sack for Arnold Ebiketie. He gets to say everybody gets to say his name this week. So he's no longer number 17. He gets to say his name. We get to say his name. So Arnold Ebiketie did his thing with a tackle for loss, quarterback hits. He had 3 quarterback hits. He was all over the place. So I'm proud of what I saw from Arnold Ebiketie.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much what this game came down to for me was or y'all gonna stay the course. And that's the base. That's the basis that what I was going to base this game on was staying the course, staying within yourselves. I think Mike, you said something about the efficiency about Kirk Cousins with the 227 yards. This is what
Yeah.
happens when you have a balanced offense. You don't necessarily need the quarterback to throw for 350, 400 yards every game. And we're slowly but surely looking at the maturation process of Bijan Robinson as far as his vision, him him trusting what he sees and then just going for it. Now he's not. There's a couple runs he had where he may have missed something, but it was far and few in between. But the balance on offense was the key to this game. Um, Defensively, like you said, still not satisfied with the overall project of things. But at the same time, they had four missed interception opportunities, which is a good sign, but a bad sign as far as them not making those plays. Um, I just say it like this, man. It definitely is a good win. They needed this win. Like you said, they didn't take them lightly as people think they did. It's just that like they're just that when you saw that onside kick situation, I started having PTSD for a second.
Just a
I'm
little
gonna
bit.
tell you no lie. Just a little bit, just a little bit. But Kyle Pitts was the one that said, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna jump on the football this time." So
He did the opposite of Quinteros. Okay.
and for everybody that keep asking about Grady, I think Grady is fine. Like you said, man, it was a pool caution, a caution pool. So we won't really know until a couple days from now. But I think they said it was for precautionary reasons. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, overall good victory for the Falcons. Like you said, they did what they needed to do. They said you got New Orleans coming up next week. You want to keep this momentum going. So, all right, Jude, man. I know you talk about the 3 to 4 plays a game that was deciding here. What are the couple of plays that you saw? Would you say would be the deciding factor for this game?
So there was a couple plays. The first play I'll start with, and this even happened last week. I believe it was fourth down where we went for it on 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, and you throw the ball to Mooney down the field for the touchdown, where you run like a bunch route and he gets on the sideline wide open. Just a great play call, as Mike said, for Zach Robinson. Right now he's in his bag. Right now Kirk Cousins is in his bag, and Mooney been in his bag all year. So that was the first play on fourth down where we converted. If you remember last week, you had the touchdown of Kyle Pitts on fourth down. One thing that I'm loving about Raheem Morrison, we have to give him credit for, is he's very aggressive on fourth down. If we're in plus territory, as soon as we touch the Falcon, we at midfield. 90% of the times this year, it's like, oh, we going for it. We going for it. We not punting. We not trying to kick a long field goal. If it's fourth and medium, 4th and 5 or less, we going once we cross midfield, which I think is smart football, to be very aggressive, and that's what we've seen. But again, it goes back to what Mike was talking about with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins knows where to go with the football. So I'll say that that was the first play that was, to me, one of the key plays in this game. The other play is where you talked about Kyle Pitts jumping on the football, understanding that they cannot touch me before that ball touches the 45-yard line. So go get the ball. Don't wait until it gets to the 45-yard line, and then it's a scrum for the ball. Go up there and
Mm-hmm.
get it. And that's what he did. And so he ended all of that. He took their aggressiveness away from them because he was the aggressor. So that was the other play that I'll say that was a huge play in the game. And then I'll say the few sacks that we had early on in the game. You've seen Grady Jarrett come up with a sack. You've seen Caden Ellis come up with a sack. You've seen Arnold Ebiketie. So that kind of rattled Dak Prescott in this game early because it was actually able to get after him and get some pressure up front. So, it threw off the timing and threw off his rhythm a little bit. So those were pretty much the main plays. But that first play to Mooney, that basically kill shot. When you go for it on fourth down and you score a touchdown, that's a backbreaker in the game. So that to me was one of the biggest plays in the game is your aggressiveness, but not just being aggressive. But a lot of these fourth downs this season, we're converting on them. Even if it's not a touchdown, we're picking it up, which is backbreaking for a defense. So those were the main plays in this game that I think really flipped it in our favor. But to me, Dallas didn't give themselves. Dallas is not a good football team. They had way too many false starts. They're just not a disciplined football team. You've seen that today. 12 men on the field when it's 4th and inches. Like they beat themselves. Even though we did what we always do, I really feel like Dallas is they're just a bad football team. They kept getting behind the chains. You heard them say over and over again. Dallas, when they take 2 steps back or 2 steps forward, they take 4 or 5 steps back because they do something to shoot themselves in the foot.
Exactly. And speaking of that play, you was talking about that kill shot, the Darnell Mooney. If y'all wouldn't look at that replay, Kirk Cousins' eyes lit up when he saw that matchup.
Exactly. He knew it pre-snap where he was going with the ball. That's called being a veteran. Desmond Ritter not making that play last year because he just no experience. That's the biggest thing that I'm noticing, as Mike talked about earlier. Kirk Cousins, his experience. You seen him checking in and out of plays. You kept hearing Greg Olsen, who's a former tight end, kept saying, man, he's doing a great job of checking in and out of plays, doing a good job of going up tempo, not allowing the defense to sub guys in. That's called being a veteran. When you pre-snap, already know this is where I'm going with the ball, or this is where the matchup is that I can take advantage of. That's what we're seeing with Kirk Cousins.
What you got on there, Mike? What are a couple of the plays in this game that stood out to you?
I don't know about plays. I'm gonna say this. I don't know who it was. It may have been done, but I forget. But I gotta give this game to the offensive line. Like one thing that I did see from Caleb McGarry, man, like he's just a damn gorilla. He's a big ass polar bear. That's a big dude. And he the thing about him that what I see is that he and Chris Lindstrom, when they're on that field, they trying to make everybody feel them. All right, you gonna feel me, okay? You gonna feel that dude. He's jumping on top of people. He's falling on people. He making sure that, like, hey, don't touch my running back. Get the hell up off my running back. Like he doing all those types of things. So it's the attitude that I'm seeing from the Falcons offensive line that stood out to me. Kurt is gonna do Kurt things, but I like what I'm seeing from Caleb McGarry, man. I really am. He was an absolute monster today. And like I said, Bijan Robinson, he did his thing, being a complete all around back. And Bijan just had that step. It's like when a running back knows when you see a running back with that pep in his step, you just keep feeding him out. And I think that's the aspect of the offense that's really that's standing out to me, is that Zach is understanding that although he is a quarterback that played in an air read type of offense, that he's learning the NFL game and understanding that balance is key in the NFL game. Because it's easy for guys. We've seen the Cliff Kingsbury and all those guys coming to the chip killer. They think they can come in here and just throw the ball 50 times and win. He's understanding the NFL game that you can throw the ball, but you have to incorporate that running game. So I'm seeing that from Zach Robinson now. That's the growth that I'm seeing in this Falcons offense. And it's getting dangerous. It's only getting better.
I think the only thing with Zach Robinson right now is, like you said on the halftime show, is once you bring Tyler in there, you still want to incorporate some of that play action, because these defenses see him get on the field, they selling out on the run. So you got big plays that will be available later on in the season. But like you said, man, Caleb McGarry dragging Tyler Algier across the goal line was something funny. I didn't expect to see in this game.
Bro, that's a big old dude, man. Yo, I'm not fighting that gun. I am not fighting him. He is too big. Yes, sir. I'm gonna be looking at him like, yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
Because you saw the celebration. Everybody, they mama was them high fiving them Caleb McGarry. I was not expecting that, because I thought it was Tyler that ran through everybody. Then I looked at the replay. Then Caleb McGarry dragged his ass across the goal.
Yeah, that's a big. Yeah, he dominated. He physically dominated the game, and those are the things that you want to see. And what you always want to see the what you always preach about this.
Yeah, the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
The trenches. Yeah, I mean, and that you made a good point too, Mike. That when I talked about like the 1 or 2 plays in the game, I think another thing that I forgot to mention until you just brought it up with the offensive line on that draft, the last drive that we scored on. You see that they just started playing physical football. They're like, Dallas is wore out. Let's let our offense take control of this game, and that's when you seen Caleb McGarry pulling him down. But I don't know if you guys noticed Chris Lindstrom just coming off the top rope and jumping on the top of the whole.
That was funny.
Boy, them boy look like the bushwhackers out there, boy. I'm telling you. Hey, can I say hey, Jew, can I say those 4 special words that we saw today?
Yeah, go ahead and say it. Say the identity of this team.
Run the damn ball.
Yes, sir.
When the game's in the balance, you seen what they went back to. They went back to the identity, start playing physical football. But like Mike said, and I don't know if you guys got to see Dwayne Ledford, his press conference this week, and they talked to him, and he was talking about the offensive line, and they asked him, the media was saying, this offensive line has been just known for being good at run blocking or great run blocking. But if you notice in this particular year, they've done a good job also pass protecting. As I talked about Kirk Cousins, and that's why I'm glad Mike brought up the offensive line. A lot of these times he's going sometimes to his 3rd or 4th progression. You heard Greg Olsen talk about that. That means you have great pass protection up front. When you got a quarterback that's not mobile like Kirk Cousins, and he has time to go all the way in across the field. That play he goes to Ray McLeod, it took him a while to cross the field like that. So that means that your offensive line is keeping your quarterback clean for him to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, there go the guy wide open 4. But he had to run. He basically went all the way across the field. They showed it on the play, then cut through the zone, and then he hit him for the touchdown. But if you don't have a good offensive line, that play doesn't happen because Kirk Cousins is not going to scramble anywhere. So he's literally having time. I've seen this year where he scanned the field last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He scans and hits Bijan Robinson in the flat where he runs in for the touchdown, where he was like the last progression on the play. That means that your offensive line is doing their job to keep Kirk clean. So they've probably been the unsung heroes of the season is this offensive line, because not only are they doing it as far as run protecting and run blocking, but also in the pass game, they're doing an excellent job of keeping Kirk clean so he can go through those progressions.
Definitely. Hey, guess what? We got a D'Angelo Malone sighting today too, y'all.
I just wanted to do it like that.
Yeah, I think he played like about 15, 20 snaps or something like that.
Yeah, I think they're doing the right thing, man. Like I said, man. I just think I don't think the Falcons. I really think that they just have an athleticism problem. Guys are just not as fast. We got too many edge guys that don't have the athleticism. Lorenzo Carter, he's gotten old, and I think he's gone for the most part. I don't think he had much left to be a edge guy, because, like I said, when we saw him, he's not closing on the ball. The only guy on that edge right now that has the closing speed is really Arnold Ebiketie, and we need him to save this defense. He's going to be the key to this Falcons winning the championship because we don't have the athleticism outside of him. James Smith-Williams is a very good outside linebacker / defensive end, but he doesn't have the athleticism. So I think that's the thing with the Atlanta Falcons, and this is why we're struggling and we're missing Braylon Trice because he was supposed to be that guy for us, that young guy to come in. But like Caden Ellis, man, he got the game ball today, and we put him in his rightful position. We put him in his right position. He's the edge guy. So I know a lot of people probably thinking to themselves that Caden may or may not be back, but I like if they keep putting him in that position where he can be an edge guy, that's where he's better suited. So, man, we got to make sure that we do everything possible to get your boy Troy Anderson back healthy. JD, too bad that he had a concussion. I thought him, but we finally put Caden Ellis in the position where he need, and we did not. They did a good job of not putting Caden Ellis in a position where he had to cover.
Yeah, which was wise. I completely agree. But I got a question for you and Kay. With the trade deadline coming up, do you think that the Falcons go out and get someone or trade for someone? I know it's guys out there. It may not be a big name guy, but I've been hearing Azeez Ojulari's name being thrown around for the Giants. That could be a guy that adds some athleticism, as you talked about, Mike, that you may not have to give up, a high draft pick. So with the trade deadline, I believe it's Tuesday. Do you guys think we possibly make a move to try to bring in somebody? It may not be a big splash type guy, but somebody that has more athleticism.
Go ahead, Katie. You want to answer?
Let me see. Do I think they'll pull something like that? I don't think he would. Just for the simple fact that we already kind of know that you got a lot of guys that can rush the passer. Problem is can they do it consistently? I think the only person that I would see them do it would be Azeez Ojulari. But it depends on how much are they gonna be willing to part for him though. That's the thing. We got to figure that news out right there. But realistically, I say they probably won't do it.
Realistically, it may not happen, but it depending on what the news is on Grady, something will happen as far as the defensive tackle position. But even there, I don't think because you still got Eddie Goldman, who's fairly healthy for the most part. You can throw him in there. You can throw Brandon Doyle is there. Rook, I think he went on the IR if I'm not mistaken. So you got Kentavious Street there. So you got guys that could be that we have guys up front. But I think depending on what the Giants are looking for Azeez, he has the athleticism that we need right now. I just don't think we have the athleticism. Looking at Judon, I don't know if he. I think he's off the step. I think
Judon right now is what you would call it. Right now, he's an edge center right now.
He's not necessarily like I won't even say occasion because he's getting pressure, but he doesn't have that elite athleticism up front like a Von Miller that sets him apart. So that's what the Falcons need. It's not so much that they don't have quality edge guys because Judon he's getting there, but he doesn't have that athleticism that Honor Ebiketie has, and that's right there is what sells. So Judon never had that, so that makes that clear. He never was that type of guy, or he had that athleticism to begin with. That's why he was like a 4th or 5th round pick to begin with. So he never had that. So I think that's the thing. The Falcons have to put a little bit more athletes at that linebacker position right now.
I mean, I think as long as they go ahead and continue with the allowing Caden Ellis to rush the passer a little bit more. I think it'll definitely open up more opportunities
Mm-hmm.
for Judon. Cause they did start using a lot more stunts in this game. Here's why Grady got a couple TFLs and a sack himself because they was using some of them stunts and they were stunting Grady and Judon on the same side.
Yeah,
So
I completely agree. I completely agree with you. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I think the biggest issue, what I'm noticing, and go ahead and finish your thought, Kay. I didn't know you
no,
wanted
I was
to.
just I was just gonna say that Judon not getting sacks right now. Like you said, it's not really the biggest issue. Like you said, the thing about it is he's already got the reputation, so he's there to open it up for everybody else. That's all. That's how I was gonna end it up with.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
from what I'm noticing with Judon and just like with our pass rushers, what Caden Ellis is doing and what Judon and the other guys are not doing, for me, the hand to hand combat, like these guys got to use their hands. I see them getting like the bull rush and stuff like that. And like you mentioned, Judon has never really been the quick twitch guy. If you go look at him with New England, they do a lot of stunts up front, like on their defensive line. So it's almost like, you know, how Bill
Yep.
Belichick always had them rush as a group. It wasn't never about like a one man type deal. I think one
Mm-hmm.
of the biggest issues I'm noticing is the hand to hand combat. I'm not seeing these guys use the cross chop. I'm not seeing these guys use their hands to get these guys up off them so they can do something. You know what I'm saying? Like AK has the athleticism. He has the bend where he can just use his speed at times. But I really feel like what I've been watching when I watch in the trenches is, are you using your hands in that hand to hand combat to get these guys off of you? If you got watch when Kalen Ellis rush, even if they try to double team him, I've seen him split guys. Him and Grady have been playing with the best handwork as far as
Yes.
guys hand to hand combat. So I really feel like that's the biggest issue that I'm noticing with these guys. I think Judon is really good, but he's never been quick twitch type guy. He's been okay. They're gonna run the stunt, and he's an effort type dude. Where I feel like Caden Ellis, he might be our best pass rusher outside of Judon because not only is he's athletic enough, but he has that handwork. So I don't know who works with these guys on the defensive line as far as you heard early in the week where I think it was either Jimmy Lake or Raheem Morris said these guys are not winning their one-on-one matchups, like as far as rushing the passer. And I think that's why we got to see D'Angelo Malone get his opportunity because guys are not doing what they're supposed to do in the one-on-one situations that they're getting as far as use your pass rush moves. You always hear Chuck Smith talk about you got to have some pass rush moves. You can't
Yep.
just do the same thing over and over again and expect to get to the, the pass.
yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
You gotta be able to mix things up because there's one thing that offensive linemen, especially the big guys, they don't like to chase after guys. So if you're making it easy for them as far as doing the same things over and over again, like they just gonna look. They know for one you're not gonna chop them, and one of the things too. What I look at how a lot of edge. That's why a lot of edge guys, the speed guys. It's not so much the power guys. It's really the speed guys, like a TJ Watt that drives tackles crazy. It's because they could either they TJ Watt is very good with his hands on top of being fast. He uses those chop moves. So you gotta be able to use your hands. And I think that's the thing that I'm saying. Um, I'm not seeing consistently. But no, I think that's one of the things why those stunts, those stunts really kind of. I thought today with Dallas, I think their tackles just got tired of looking side to side and see where the stunts coming from.
Yeah, definitely. Um, one more question, Mike. I'm gonna let you kick this off, man. So, what did you think about the secondary's play against Dallas today?
Elite, elite. We got the best secondary in the NFL. It's not even close. These guys barely give up 200 yards. All right, I know people over here. Well, Cooper Rush, bro, they were not worried about no damn Cooper Rush. Okay, I'm not worried about yo. Oh, he came in. Look, the game was dang near pretty much done. So that right there is what we call garbage time. So the opposite of what y'all been saying, Matt Ryan be getting. But that's garbage time passing yards. They're literally just sitting back and just letting them complete passes. So I thought the secondary was absolutely amazing today, man. These guys just they learn to find the ball and they just get turnovers. I mean, at the end of the day, they're very well coached. We got three guys and Jimmy Lake, Raheem, um, Jerry Gray, all those guys are secondary guys, and you can see the you can see these guys getting better every week. I'm so one guy that I look at this team, bro. Um, I just it's like a Paul Papa is watching the offer because we all knew that he had the ability, but you starting to see his confidence and he's getting better. So I pray to God that we'll be able to keep him this off season because I think somebody's gonna at least try to see what he's about and offer him some money. But D Alford has been balling, man. D Alford has really been balling this year.
Jude, what you got, man?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what Mike said. Like the secondary is elite. Like we have a really good secondary, really good secondary. But you guys know what I always talk about. When I think about defense, I think about physicality. And what I like about our team is these guys are not only good in coverage, but they're good at tackling. These guys are not afraid to come up and tackle. These guys are physical. AJ Terrell, he'll come up and hit you. D. Alford, as small as he is, he'll come up and hit you. Clark Phillips, he'll come up and hit you. Like we don't have any guys on that back end that's reluctant to tackle. And I really feel like that's what makes this defense, even though we play a lot of soft zone, we play a lot of cover three, because we have willing tacklers and corners that'll fly up in the secondary and make tackles. I really feel like that's what makes this team really good because we don't give up a lot of yardage after the catch or after contact. These guys are swarming to the ball. So I completely agree with everything that Mike's talked about is these guys are well coached, but you see that each and every one of these guys in the secondary are getting better. Like I know it's been years where we will always talk about one or two guys like getting picked on, but I haven't seen that this year. Hughes has played well. The Alfred's playing well. Simmons, Bates, all of them guys. I can't really point out one guy, so I really feel like it's hard for opposing teams to kind of scheme like who we gonna target today in the secondary because all of these guys are playing well and they're playing on the string. You heard them say a couple times with those sacks. This is a cover sack because nobody's open. These guys are all on the string.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm really proud of these guys, man.
All right, Truth, man. What's going on, man?
What's shaking? What's shaking? Big win today, man. Good win.
What, what's your thought? What's your thoughts on the game?
Um, you can, you can really see the offense starting to round. Um, Super Bowl type offense shape. I'm not no. It's not a knee jerk reaction. It's just watching everything kind of form over the past few weeks. Defense is bending but not breaking, pretty much. Got a few more stops today. We put the quarterback on the ground 3 times. Hallelujah. Um, I would have liked to seen them get on the ground a little bit more. We getting back there, man. Like we back there, But that's just a fan in me during the game. Hope Drake and Grady's injuries are nothing that'll cause them to miss significant time. Uh, uh, Good pickup, a good job of Ray McLeod and Darnell Mooney picking up the absence of Drake London. Kyle wasn't that heavily involved today, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay, last week Drake wasn't that heavily involved. So, and they showed that they gave you a precursor of what's to come. How they you know flip the run to the run. They got comfortable. But we got to do a little better job of putting them away. Them needing an onside kick. But other than that, 4-1 in the division, 6-1 in the conference.
Hey, at least Kyle Pitts jumped on the damn ball on the onside kick.
Hey, he did his civic duty.
Sam, what's up, man?
Hey,
What's
I
happening? What's happening?
update on Grady Jarrett. So this is from Joe Patrick. He stated that Grady was walking around just fine in the locker room, didn't have any bandaging on his lower leg that he could see. Seems to have been precautionary removal from the game. So like I said, that's one thing. The thing about an Achilles strain that like you don't know if it's an Achilles or if it's a calf issue. And a guy that's coming from a torn ACL, these things tend to happen. So that's why you want to give these guys, especially the big guys, the rest. So like I said, this is why I said earlier, this is probably one of those games. This is probably the biggest game for the Atlanta Falcons of the year. So because they can sit Grady out for 2 to 3 weeks, and they'll still be right there as far as the playoff is concerned. So this was a huge win, not only for the fans, the media themselves, but this was great to kind of get our guys get guys right back healthy, and play some of the young guys, play more of rookie, play who's actually on IR, but you can bring in a guy like Doris and Kentavious Street. So this is where the depth for the Atlanta Falcons for that defensive line is great. So I don't think the Falcons will do anything, but I as far as trade is concerned, but I could see a small trade, kind of how we made last year with Kentavious Street, because I think we traded him for like a 6th-round pick or something like that, real late doing it. So I could see something like that happen as far as a rotational guy, but yeah. And shout out to the Panthers, man. All right, I got to give y'all some love, okay? Thank you guys, okay? We as Falcons fans, we love you, okay? For this week, we love you. We appreciate you guys, all right? We truly appreciate you guys for going in there and beating the hell out of them pussy ass ain'ts, okay? Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you, okay? For this week, we appreciate you.
All right, Sam, man, what you got on the game, man? What's your takes on it?
Well, I got exactly what I predicted. This was a game for that front seven to exercise some demons, and they did, to the tune of 2 sacks, 8 QB hits. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been saying for the last month now, this defense is getting pressure. Y'all sackaholics, you got a little fix. You should be all right for about a month now.
Actually, it was 3 sacks, Sam.
Yeah.
They credited Katie Ellis with one.
Yeah, they did. They did. You're right. It was 3, but I'm just saying, Grady told everybody 2-3 weeks ago, relax. The sacks gonna come. We getting pressure. We creating turnovers. See, when you too busy, you know what I'm saying, looking at the trees instead of understanding you standing in the forest, you miss things. Just saying. This is we did what we had to do. We came in, we handled our business. We did again, like the Carolina game. We beat the team we were supposed to beat. And that's the bottom line.
Biggest thing. That's the biggest
Yes.
thing. That's the biggest thing. You have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Yep.
which was an issue we've had the last couple of years was beating teams we were supposed to beat.
Yeah. Shout
But
out to Ray Ray.
he gets saved from the wrath today. Um, yeah. Fleetfoot, yeah. He did his thing today. But outside of that, who would you say was your player of the game today, Sam?
Player of the game, I would give that to Bijan.
Okay.
I give it to Bijan. With continuing his physicality. Overall, I kind of sort of have to split it and give the defense a nod. To give the defense a nod. You know what I'm saying? They closed out drives. They kept putting the offense back on the field. They made stops. They got sacks, got pressure, made life hard. You know what I'm saying? Was physical. We was real close to a complete game with the defense.
Yeah, that is true. All right. Truth. Who's your player? Who you get a game ball to today?
Um, Kind of tough, man, because a lot of people. It's about 3 or 4 people that name going to have. I'm gonna cheat a little. Uh, I'm gonna let y'all decide between these three. 55, 7, and 1.
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah,
Darnell Mooney get a game ball. Darnell Mooney. Okay.
it's
Jew. Who you get a game ball to today?
I would have to say I'm gonna get a game ball to Darnell Mooney as well. On offense, Darnell Mooney. On defense, Caden Ellis, because he was
yeah,
in the backfield all game, and he's leading our team in tackles this year. He's leading the team in pressures, and he's the guy that's got the mic, in the helmet. So he's making all of the calls. So between Ellis and Mooney, they've been consistent all year. So I'll have to give it to those two guys as well. I
yeah,
mean, they played
yeah. Drew, that
great.
he made on 88 for the Cowboys. That was It turned out to be a huge play in the game. That turned huge.
Right. All right, Mike. Who you game ball? Who you giving the game ball to?
Can I get a reverse game ball?
Well, you want to explain what the reverse game ball is?
Somebody that almost like it's damn near costing us games. So I'm gonna give a reverse game ball. Liam, you, uh,
So
and
would you
Truth.
give it? So would you go get him the powder toss award of the week of the
Yeah,
game?
yeah. Because I'm so tired. Like, I don't know what's going on with them three, but their timing has been off for the last 4 to 5 weeks, and another one. So we got to give all the special teams one because if that son of a bitch do that again, I'm so fucking tired of this right now. He's my language job, but I'm so tired. I don't know what's going on with Avery Williams, but he's been a complete moron. That like, for one. Why in the hell you at the 10-yard line? You gonna let the ball go? You gonna let the ball go? Catch the damn ball. You let the ball go into the 5-yard lines, and they get on the 1-yard line. That was just a horrible, horrible play, special teams play. Like those are the types of things that get them back in scoring position because of bad special teams play. All right, if that goes the wrong way, like the same thing we had last week with the Bucks. The bad special team play, they could have easily had a 9-point swing right there. If you don't do it right. So, like I said, man, special teams just been getting on my nerves lately. They really have getting on my nerves. You got to do better with special teams.
Hmm. And I'm gonna give the game ball today to Zach Robinson. And
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to the two guys, Zach Robinson and Kirk Cousins. for one reason and one reason only. We didn't need Young Wei Koo to kick no damn field goals today. Let me repeat that. We did not need Young Wei Koo to kick field goals today.
Well, that kind of goes back to what I said Saturday about just not actually seeing a complete game. We were close offensively. We were close. We were close. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like a non-pass interference call and a missed catch. Two missed catches. And one of them was an overthrow. But yeah, those three plays right there kept the offense from being perfect today. No, it's not having no punts. You know, we did what they did their thing. We took care of, saying, time possession. We were aggressive. This was not a game where we were playing around. We were decisive. You know what I'm saying? It's look, long as this keep happening and we're beating the teams that we're supposed to beat, no one should have a complaint about anything.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get everybody's final words on this game before we get to part two of the post game show, which will be with Coach oh, and Atlanta Falcon Nation family. So, go look, give everybody their final thoughts on what y'all saw today, man, and it's open to whoever want to kick it off.
I'll go ahead.
I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kick it off, fellas. So just like Sam said, OG Sam just said, like I don't have any complaints with this team at this point. They 6-3. Winning this game is huge because now you're winning a lot of these NFC matchups, which is going to give you the tiebreaker at the end of the season when it comes to the playoff seeding and things of that nature. So keep winning the games you're supposed to win. Keep winning, especially these home games. Give these fans something to cheer about. But Raheem Morris, this regime, they're doing an excellent job, in their first season. Believe it or not, this is their first season with this Falcons team. And he's came in and they've done an excellent job of getting better week in, week out, making good, timely decisions as far as calling timeouts. The game against the Bucks, where they get down and spike the ball, like the small things, the small intricate details, the things that most fans will look over. These guys are doing an excellent job of coaching up the blunders that we've had in the past. So at the end of the day, I'm proud of this team, undefeated in our division. You can't ask for nothing else, man. These guys are getting better and better week in and week out. And it looks like we're going to start hitting our stride towards the later part of the season, which, as I mentioned, 2016, this team is looking really, really good right now, looking scary. Nobody's going to want to play this team when it's all said and done. I'm going to leave it at that.
Um,
Okay.
I'm gonna chase what you the team is right. Like I said, when I offense looking almost rounded in Super Bowl form, when you can effectively run the football, that demoralizes the team. And we already know what weapons we got on in the passing game with Kurt, Drake, Kyle, Darnell, Ray. Um, and then with a little bit of Bijan and Tyler coming out the backfield. But when you can scrap it up and say stop me, that's a good recipe. All we need to do right now is stay healthy, man. Stay healthy. That's it. Stay healthy and continue to get better and grow in other areas. The special teams definitely need to tighten up. Tackling and then piss poor on there, and I was wondering why Avery Williams did what he did today too. So I'm okay. I'm not. I'm okay to the point to where I ain't got shit bad to say. So that's all I got.
Sam, Mike.
I give to Sam an opportunity to talk, and he don't want to talk.
No, I had muted myself because I had some things going on in the background. We're 6-1 in the conference, um, which puts pressure on the game that's going on right now between the Lions and the Packers. Um, as long and like Scott just said, as long as we keep winning, that's all that matters. And just to promo something real quick, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna tell y'all why Dirty Kurt is an MVP candidate. Hot take.
Man, this is this is an interesting year. It's interesting on one end because like you have so many young pieces offensively, which is absolutely amazing. You want that. But on the defense side of the ball, you have guys that have played AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett, Onyemata, Caden Ellis. These guys, you can qualify them as veteran players. They're not done. They still got some good ball, and you don't have too many young pieces. You have Bates, you have Justin, all these guys. So you have a nice mixture of veteran players on the defense side of the ball and a lot of young guys. I mean, it's probably one of the youngest offenses in the league. And then you got a veteran quarterback that has been in the league for quite some time, and he's that guy. I think, in my opinion, I just think it's only as far as quarterbacks is concerned, and I'm talking about just the overall aspect of being a quarterback. He's shown that he can come back in games. He's shown the ability to throw for 3, 4, 500 yards in the game. And then you can see that he can control the game with just his ability and his experience. He can do all those things. So there's only 3 quarterbacks in the league that can do that. That's Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna just scratch that. I don't think there's but 2 quarterbacks in the league that can like really take over a game without their athleticism, and that's Patrick Mahomes and that's Kirk Cousins. So you have that mix with the quarterback and a young team that are finally these guys. They're finding themselves. Kyle Pitts has found himself. Bijan is finding himself, which is crazy with his youth. And then you got Tyler Algier, you got Drake London, you got Mooney. He's a nice mixture. He's a nice mix right there with his athleticism and his experience. He's been in the league for about 3 or 4 years himself. So they got a nice mixture of veteran leadership and youth. And right there, I think the Falcons have what it takes to even win a Super Bowl because you have a nice mixture with youth and veteran leadership. And it is possible. Why? Because the Atlanta Falcons, I think they should be. I still think I think they're still third. They'll still be third because Washington won, but they'll be third in the league as far as the NFC South. Excuse me, NFC South. So they have opportunities to still be a number 1 seed and make it easier for themselves to get to the NFC Championship. And once you get to the NFC Championship, anything is possible at that point. So they can get back to Super Bowl. So they got a nice mixture of guys. And you getting Troy back, you can sit Grady for a minute, and they have enough collateral offensively. So if they want to make a move in the offseason to get someone or spend a few dollars on the guy on someone, I think they can make a move right now to kind of bring in a added piece that they needed defensively. So that's my last take. I just think the Falcons do have what it takes to get to a Super Bowl. You're still there. you still, have some things to work out as far as winning it, but I think they have what it takes to get. Because I like outside of Detroit, I just don't see anybody that the Falcons, will have a hard time beating.
Okay. I'm gonna just leave it off by saying this. The mindset that this team has to have is they haven't did shit. And that's what's going to keep them hungry. As long as the Falcons stay hungry, as long as they stand on business, as long as they do the necessary things to not lose games but win games, like you said, this could be a very dangerous team. But as of right now, they haven't done anything. And the thing about a team that has a lot to prove that's playing well right now becomes a dangerous weapon right around December time. So so the Atlanta Falcons right now is in control of their own destiny, and we have to keep it that way for the rest of the season. So shout out to the Falcons, 6-3. We got New Orleans next game. So until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no!
We here to stay.
I forgot my neckline.
That's because Mike didn't get to the yams. That's why he forgot his next line.
Really?
You want to
Shout
mess
out
the
to
order
Tanya
up.
too.
And like I said, shout out to just the whole team in general. So, hey man, y'all make sure y'all continue to support OG True Hopes, Mr. Wide Network, Drew Talk Sports, Mad Mike Sports, and Citizen K Live, as well as Atlanta Falcon Nation. Until next time, people, deuces.
Peace.
Yeah, boy.